Right. So the details are very sketchy. Hamas is a terror organization. So the proposal is just, taken not with any type of, Israel is checking details closely with the Qatari. The Hamas issued a statement yesterday saying the youngest baby that was kidnapped, he is now supposed to be 11 months old. He was kidnapped when he was 9 months old. The youngest of all and his brother Ariel are now dead. We don't know if this is true or not because the Hamas was playing, lies and games with the Israelis in the past, in recent weeks. So I think the next step is releasing more of 8 people today, might be mostly women and a younger 16 and an 18 years old Arab Israelis, Bedouin actually, who were also kidnapped, a young girl at the age of 16. She is Muslim, but because she's Israeli, she was kidnapped and I think maybe tortured by the Hamas. So she might be back home, not with her parents because her father and 2 other siblings are still held captive by the terror organization.
And Tal, what has been said about that deadly attack at a bus stop in Jerusalem? How did that unfold?
Again, it's a terrorist from Eastern Jerusalem, a different region from Gaza, but we do have, the West Bank and East Jerusalem terror, terror events. They attacked around 15 people who stood in a bus stop. A woman who was pregnant was murdered with her uterus, and 2 other people. So 3 people who were assassinated in a bus stop in Jerusalem. Just civilians. The people who did that are terrorists from Eastern Jerusalem, 2 young brothers who did that.
Well, negotiations are ongoing with regards to the temporary ceasefire. Do you think these discussions are getting more difficult? And why do you think that might be?
I suppose they are getting more difficult because Israel keep on saying that it will not stop the war. The intention is to continue and destroy the Hamas, the terror organization. And on the other side, I think the main goal for them was not those. You mentioned release of convicted terrorists from Israel's prison earlier. Those people came back to the West Bank or to Gaza. I think the Hamas doesn't really care about those people. They only want this extension of days without fire so they can regroup and attack Israel again. So, I mean, we know there was a fuel that was entered into Gaza Strip. We knew in advance that this fuel will supply the rocket launchers. There's, they say it won't, but, nobody can really take responsibility for whatever the terror organization is doing. So we think that they wanted more days in order to regroup themselves and keep the shooting, the rocketing. And, in previous years, they also abducted people during a ceasefire. So I hope this is not the case this time around.
Are there indications that the ceasefire may be nearing its end?
So I've been using the word ceasefire, but it's a wrong term. We call it here a pause. A ceasefire with respect to previous years where during ceasefire they abducted people. Right now we're talking about a pause, and definitely Israel's government declaring every day and night that they will continue with the hunt against the terror organization heads immediately after the pause is done. So this cannot be done, unfortunately. This cannot be done in a delicate way. I mean, they live inside, they keep their safety inside schools, inside mosques, under tunnels. In order to get to those tunnels, Israel will have to continue the war.
Well, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on his 3rd visit to Israel since the start of the war. What is he hoping to achieve, do you think?
He wants to get more humanitarian aid inside Gaza. This is something that Israel is also obliged to, bringing in more trucks of food, medicine, water, and fuel. And this is, I think, the most important notion of Blinken. They've been saying it since the beginning of the war. Additional statement that he makes over from when he's in DC, but also when he's here, is about the two-state solution as a future for the region. Maybe they want to have the Palestinian Authority, which is controlling the West Bank, to be responsible of Gaza. I think, if you ask my opinion, it's a far-fetched concept, but we do know that this is what the American administrations claim. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but,
Meanwhile, at home, what kind of pressure is Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu under at the moment to bring the rest of the hostages home safely?
Yes, there is a huge public pressure on that. Some people think that the military war will contradict the bringing back the people. We do have around 140 to 150 people that were abducted. We're not sure of the numbers because some people are still missing, and the Hamas, as I said, is playing with the numbers. We don't know for sure the facts, but obviously there are still more women women that were kidnapped from the Nova Festival music or were partying. They were kidnapped. We saw some videos of at least one of them, Mia Shem. She was undergoing surgery in her arm in the captivity. She was not released yet. That was the first video that came out almost 2 months ago. We have many young men, elderly, a lot of elderly people above the age of 85. One of them is 85, others are above the age of 80, who were farmers, villagers from the region near the border, who were taken from their home. Most of them in this age, everyone needs medicine and care. So we are very afraid for their lives. And it's really horrific times here in Israel. We don't get much of a good news.
Well, Tal Schneider, I really appreciate your time and updating us. Thank you.
Thank you.